Hello to you. This is Edwin Dearborn, and this is Eben. And Eben, do I want to tag Eben in this? Yes, I want to tag, and I just did. Okay, good. Thank you, Facebook. So I am here with Eben, and Eben helps people find their ideal vehicles, gets their cars or trucks well below dealer rates. In fact, what he does is he's a personal car finder. So if you're looking for a car or truck and you don't want to pay dealer rates, he goes out and scours the earth like kung fu, and he finds the ideal car or truck for you well below, like a better quality car, a better quality truck, well below dealer rates. It's awesome service. He's here in Las Vegas, and today on Caffeinated Content, where we talk about great business ideas of our hot cup of coffee, today we're at Magnum Coffee, which has got the absolute best view of Las Vegas. Would you agree?
I agree. You can see every angle.
I know. It's like all the mountains, the strip, the planes landing. It's awesome. This is the best place. Okay. So now, Eben, I'm interviewing Eben on what his favorite marketing method is. And it's really interesting. He does a lot of video on Facebook Live, right?
Yeah, I do a lot of regular video all over Facebook, but I haven't done a whole lot of live video yet.
Not live video.
Not
okay.
live, but yeah.
Okay, good. But he was telling me that his favorite marketing method before we went on here is going to meetup groups.
Yep.
Now, I have a meetup group. I know that you go to a lot of them. Can you tell me what your experience has been with meetup groups?
I like the meetup groups because they're after hours, everybody's kind of loose, they're playful, and there's nothing holding them back, so they don't have to be anywhere. It's basically just unlimited. So I talk to them and we joke around a little bit. They get a chance to know me, and then when I tell them about what I do, it makes more sense because they're not thinking hard to think about it. Where like a lot of people overthink what I do, and I tell people I locate your ideal vehicle well below dealer rates. So it's just that simple. Any car, I find it much less than going to a dealer. But a lot of people, they overthink it, and they're like, well, how can you do that? It doesn't make sense. You know?
But you have a very, what I helped you develop was a very simple pitch and positioning so that you could simplify the process like in 10 words or less.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right, and has that been working well for you?
It's been working. It's still a strange kind of ideal that
Yeah.
I think people are still kind of bending their head around, and it's interesting. Like I tell people that, and they're like, they're like, well, how can you still save me money? Do you go to the auction? And I tell you, it has nothing to do with really even an auction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think with the world is changing, we're moving away from malls to Amazon. We've moved away from Blockbuster to Netflix. So now you're kind of like that Amazon, Netflix option for buying cars, right?
Tremendously, yeah. It's an internet thing, and I deal with everything: negotiating the deal, looking for it, setting up shipping if it's far away.
Yep.
And my client, they don't have any worries at all.
Yeah, and I'll give you just one example. We'll get back to his favorite marketing method. He had posted this very high-end Mercedes-Benz. It was about 3 years old. It had maybe 25,000 miles on it, and literally saved the person about $8,000 that if they had gone to a dealership and got the car for $8,000 less. Well, when you're talking about, what, a $60,000 car, $8,000 less is, that's about 15% less. So that's the type of savings. But you go to meetup groups. Now, I know that you can go to meetup.com, find groups in your area. We're here in Las Vegas, but Meetup is all over the place. And you find these groups, you go there, you start to network, and have you actually built some relationships that have turned into some type of business?
I have. What I do is I'll do the after hours thing and do the meetups, and you kind of get to know who you kind of click with.
Yep.
And it's pretty much either you're kind of dialed in with them and everything makes sense, or they just don't get it, or they're kind of afraid. And once it goes either way, I just let it fall that way. And if it falls that they like me, I'll follow up with them, and I go through everything. And then usually they end up using my service, and they're very happy with it. And they just never knew that they could save that much money.
Great. So here's the couple things here. He's networking in person. He's also, you're grabbing their business cards, putting them in your database, right?
Always. Ed taught me that.
Yep. So he's grabbing their business cards, putting their data into his email database. I'm on his email list, so I'm getting his emails. He's dripping on them videos, educational content. He's, the fortunes and the follow-up. So he's not only networking in person, but he's collecting the identity and dripping on them content and putting his branded content in front of them over and over and over. And I'm sure that maybe you see them a couple weeks later or a couple months later, and they're like, oh, there's Eben. I've been getting your emails.
Yeah.
Right? So it strengthens the connection.
And I'm starting to see, even on, I have it automatically post from my MailChimp emailer to Facebook, and I'm getting people that see it on Facebook, and they're like, oh, Eben, I saw that one post today. And so when I do these car meetups here in town, because I love the car community, I'm in the Corvette Club, when I do these meetups, I'm getting a lot of people mention that they saw it, whether they're seeing and understanding every part of it, I'm not sure, but I know that they're seeing it, and I can see it working.
Well, I think the key is that they're seeing you. And to me, being seen is better than not being seen.
Yep.
And I think one of the things that we know in marketing and public relations is you have to say something over and over and over, and they may have to see it 20 times or 30 times. But the good news is that you're taking the identity, you're putting it onto not only email but social channels, and then you're going out live interacting with people, and they're mentioning that they see your content.
Yep.
So I think that's a great takeaway here, is that you don't want to not network with people. I mean, you want to be active in the community, but you also want to strengthen that connection through digital means and follow-up. And between the two, what happens is they see you digitally, they see you in person, and you've got a stronger relationship with them. Okay, what else are you getting out of these meetup groups?
I get a lot of experience with just social interactions, kind of what most people expect from it. Most people that go to meetups, they're just kind of winging it, and they really have no real agenda. They're not really out to network too much. They're more just to kind of let go. And I find if you talk to them and kind of become friends with them a little bit, then you can kind of suggest things for them, and it makes more sense to them, instead of just meeting someone for 2 seconds, giving them your business card and saying, hey, what the heck, use my service. It's kind of
Right. So I think that that's a great point, Eben, is you don't want to just go out there and be the guy that hands out cards. You actually want to establish rapport with people, actually make a more unique and personable connection with individuals. Because, that bothers me. That's one of the things I don't like about networking events. The guy who's like, here's my card, can I have your card, can I have your card? And it's like, it's so non-personal. And one of the things that I learned from one of my mentors is that if you can get one really good connection, one really good relationship out of a networking meeting, it's totally worth it. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I kind of walk into these networking meetings going, if I can just find one really good relationship out of these 200 people or 30 people or whatever it is, like a real lasting relationship, then that networking meeting was meaningful versus handing out a bunch of business cards.
And that's what I've learned by doing all these meetups is if you don't find that one relationship, you almost wasted your time. It's like
good point.
You kind of skip off. It's like skipping a rock. It's not going to sink in. Like if you just hand out cards like that, and I used to do it, and I admit it. I gave out like 1,000. I given out like 1,000 business cards and haven't gotten one call.
Right, totally. I know isn't that so funny? It's like they actually think they're marketing, but actually what they're doing is they're being annoying.
They really are. It's just a pain in the ass, yeah.
It is a pain in the ass.
And those poor trees, all those 1,000 business cards you're going to give away and never get a call.
Absolutely. So I think the thing is that you've really gotten the core, which is go to these networking meetings, find one or two individuals, really establish a good relationship, and that is a win. It's not how many cards you hand out or how many cards you gather. It's really how many really powerful, lasting relationships you develop that will at one point turn into a business relationship.
Yeah,
okay, good.
That's exactly what I
Okay, good. And so you're also backing that up digitally by putting out content, and you're finding that when you go back to these networking meetings, they're actually mentioning that they're seeing your content.
Yep, and they're saying, that they found the video fun, or they found it very interesting or educational, and that's the thing that it makes me feel better, is that at least they're learning something. That's
Great.
what I like.
Great. So let's just wrap up the takeaways here. Number one, network in person. Number two, when you network, don't be the annoying guy or gal handing out business cards. Look to build rapport with strategic relationships with people that actually, where you can help them and they can help you. Number three, gather their identities and put them in your email database. Get them as followers on social media. And then number four, I think just as important, is follow up not only with more personal contact and phone calls, but drip on them some great content, particularly video content. Show them how, answer their questions, give them insights. Build a relationship outside of that personal contact with your digital platforms, so that when you go back to them in personal contact, they're like, oh yeah, I saw your video. Oh yeah, I got your email. So you're constantly in front of them, building your brand. Okay, well, Eben, thank you so much.
Thanks, Ed. You're the best.
Yeah,
really appreciate you helping me.
That was
Thank
great.
you.
And you gave everybody some great insights, so thank you. This has been another edition of Caffeinated Content. If you'd like to be on Caffeinated Content, you got two ways you can do it, where you can share your favorite marketing method. Number one, you can fly to Las Vegas and actually sit here with me and do the show, or we can actually connect through Facebook Live, where you can be on one side of the screen, I'm the other side of the screen. But I would love to interview any entrepreneur, solopreneur, or magnate or billionaire, if you will, on what your favorite marketing and sales method is. Okay? Peace out. Bye-bye.